Friends, when we take our children to supermarkets, we all understand why the supermarkets are so colorful, so shiny, and all the products are placed in a particular way, and every product is trying to attract you, etc. But more so towards the children, they're all directed towards the children. Most of the wings, most of the shelves are, wherever children like, snacks and toys and most of the products. Okay. Now, when you take a child to the supermarket, you understand the impact that supermarket, those colors and those shiny wrappers, etc., and such, the ease of reach. You can actually touch the product, see the product. You can just select the product, pick it up and leave it in your cart, etc., and it is within your reach. Okay, the child knows that it is already in its hand, and it wants to consume so badly. It's just one step to consume. Now, at this point of time, when you say no to the child, for picking up that, for buying that product, the child, you will become instantly a villain in the child's mind. Now, uh, you didn't mean it, you didn't plan it, you didn't want this to happen like this, but it happens. And you are so innocent, and you're so innocent means you're just being family, you're just happy. You want the child to know what is there in this world, and because it is part of your daily routine, you take the child to the supermarket. But this happens, and most of the time parents lose the argument, and even if the parent wins there, there is an impression that the parent is an obstructionist to the child's happy in the child's mind. Do you think it is just accidental that these things happen? No. Very, very big brands with lots of money, they study all this behavior, human behavior. They employ psychologists to, and they do a lot of research. I mean, not just this, for various other aspects, deeper aspects, and more details that I'm not discussing. But they do all of that to make sure a child cannot say no, and in turn make the adult buy it using the child. Okay. So this is the kind of politics, or this is the kind of tricks and strategies they employ. Now, I think you all agree so far, but next step is debatable, because most people don't agree with it. But that is a fact in my mind. Now, who is the second most vulnerable part in the family? Okay. See, in the earlier scenario, if you directly show all those colors and wrappers and shine, etc., all of that attractive designs, etc., to the adult and want that person to buy, it is less likely that the adult would buy, right? But the child would simply fall for that trap and make you fall for that trap. Even if you are not falling for the trap, you have to, or you have no choice but to buy. Now, that child is the most vulnerable member in the family. Who is the next most vulnerable member in the family? So they want them to be not happy. Like, the child is not happy if you don't buy. Similarly, if the child is peaceful, they cannot do more business, right? So they use the child. Now, if the second most vulnerable person is also not is also peaceful and having no discontent, then they cannot do more business. So what they do is they attack them, attack their self-esteem, attack their belief system, beliefs, attack their uh, ability to compare, attack everything about them, and they run a narrative, create and maintain and sustain a narrative wherein they are perpetually discontent. They are temporarily content once they have something new, but they become discontent again soon, and they want more and more and more and more different ways, etc. Is it of value? That value is set by what is valuable and how much it is valuable is set by the narrative. Okay. So all of this is done by very, very strategically with lots of data and research behind it. So science is used in this way. And suppose even if you are a scientist, I am a scientist, uh, I can serve science as much, only as much as the current society allows me to, right? I'm not Galileo to be willing to be stoned to death just because I want to be right and I want to serve science. Or I'm not Socrates to be such a philosopher who will never lie, even if it meant that I have to drink poison and die. And we are not Socrates, we are not Galileo Galilei. So what we do? We have to earn our money, etc. So whoever pays, we serve them, and they will pay you further only when you give them the results that they want, especially in business, especially when it is not pure science where you are practicing. Okay. So why am I telling you all this is there is an institution called family in the society, and there is an institution called business in the society. Now, both have their places. If the family is strong, businesses will not be able to be as strong as they want to be. So, sometime the businesses have decided that families have to see, in a very business like sense, families have to look after their own defense. We need not defend families because they are not the parties that we are a different party and they are a different party. Where will the money come from for any business? They will come from families, right? So businesses employ people, they will give salaries, and these people give that salary to the same businesses to buy the products that these businesses make. So it's a cycle. Ultimately, the money of the businesses will be with businesses. Families come to help the businesses produce, distribute, market, etc. And yes, the businesses also consume. There are very little people there, but mostly the consumers, they are the families that they consume. They consume, and what they do is they give all the profits, not just the value that they are getting, but mostly it is profit, and that profit it goes back to the businesses. So tell me how much of this money and for how long is that money with families, and how long is it with businesses? So this flow should not be broken. How to ensure that businesses will perpetually receive money like this from families? This is the thought behind designing businesses. Now, what do business want? They want to pay less salaries to people, employees, so that they can reduce the costs of production, and they want to sell their products for higher prices, and they want the demand to be high all the time. What to be done? What they do is they first see the if only men are working or if only women are working, only 50% labor force is available to you. So both have to work. If both are working, what happens is immediately 50% supply of labor is increased. When the supply of labor is increased, they can pay lesser salaries because the supply is more. So because the other people will be ready to work for lesser money. So obviously you also have to the family or any men or women, they have to work for lesser money because the others, if they don't work, the others will work. for lesser money. So everybody's salaries are kept in check. Now, once that happens, the bargaining power in the family is lost. When the bargaining power of in the family is lost, the salaries are lowered. Although two people will be earning, they will show that as a reason because two people are earning. Now the prices can go up because two people are earning. They have a lot of money there. If they're with that money, they will have to buy. They will consume. So our prices can go higher because the prices when go higher, they will continue to earn. The families have to continue earning with both members or more members in their family. So what? And if more people are working, where they are working? They are working in businesses only. So businesses are profiting. The family has no bargaining power or very minimal bargaining power at all, if at all. Now it is always win for the business and lose for the family. This is how families uh, earlier they used to have the upper hand, but now they don't anymore. In my father's generation or grandfather's generation, everywhere in America or here also, one person used to earn that would be sufficient for building their homes, home loans, everything. For everything, that would be sufficient. They had the luxury of one person dedicated to in their family for the beautification and coloring. I mean, to bring color and vigor in their lives, art and leisure and peace and joy in their lives. So this is now nobody is doing it because everybody goes to work like laborers. Earlier, one person used to be laborer. Now everybody is laborer. Now everybody is tired when they come down come back because of the distance. Offices are all in one area. Residences are all in one area. Roads are there. Roads are expanded, but there is no cap in how many vehicles a person can own, except for discouragement tax that they do a little. But everybody wants to to settle and to show that they have actually achieved success. So one of the symbols is cars. So much traffic will be there. Everybody have to commute, and when they do so much commute, they are tired. When they come home, they cannot do the domestic work that is needed. They bring in Swiggies and such things. So in the evenings and at nights they're tired. In the mornings they're very worried and hurried in the rush to reach to the offices. So only this is happening. During the office, they're just bonded slaves. This is the story of modern slavery, which is facilitated, which is designed by the business people, backed by science and data. Science used in this way, misused. And this is how the enslavement of population at large is complete. And this is modern slavery. Earlier, one country used to treat the other countries as colonies because they geographically and politically control them. Now they don't have to. And it's not just countries, it is now businesses. They colonize people, and people don't even know that they are slaves. That is the best form of slavery in the interest of business. When I'm speaking from the business point of view, that is the best form of slavery. When a slave does not know that that person is a slave, because why will you agree that you are a slave? Because you have iPhone, because you have a Volkswagen car, because you have everything that you wanted earlier, right? So how can I call you? You can even go to other countries for tours, etc. So how do I prove that you are a slave, and why will you admit that you are a slave? So this is exactly how plausible they made, the business people made, for you to not admit that you are a slave, and fight the people who will tell you the truth, because you have already whatever you wanted in your childhood, right? Because you see, the whole point is the goalpost of success is changing all the time. So yes, yes, you have achieved one goalpost that you had in your childhood, but now the goalpost has moved. This is called rat race. So once you, even if you achieve the goal that you had in mind, even then, because the goalpost is moved, you don't feel like that. You don't feel that you have succeeded. Now, yes, recently also one post I have seen, one woman was showing off that she has bought a very good car, etc. So nowadays everybody has car. Nowadays everybody goes to Europe or America for trips, etc. Nowadays everybody has gadgets. Everybody, most people I'm seeing is have iPhones. Right. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Everybody can speak English today. What is so big deal about it? Everybody has internet access. Everybody can pay UPI. Like, yeah, everybody. Therefore, even though you have achieved all these things, it's not success because it's not rare. It's not special. No, I'm not saying that specialties and rarity is not what you have to be, but I'm just trying to tell you how people are enslaved without them knowing that they are enslaved. I'll tell you how you are enslaved. You are enslaved because your time is not yours. You are enslaved because you have so many EMIs that you will never be able to quit your jobs for 30 years more. You have home loan, you have this loan, you have that loan, you have personal loan. Gone. Because, third point, your worthiness in this economy is your credit worthiness, which means if you don't take a loan and you don't pay back, if you're not in that loan circle, you're not useful to this economy. Therefore, you're not successful. Therefore, your civil score will go down, and people will not be ready to even recently I heard that a marriage is going on. Uh, a bride's family, somebody came to know suddenly that groom's CIBIL might be lower. So with influence, they got to check the groom's CIBIL score, and it in fact was low. So they stopped the marriage in the marriage hall. This is what I heard. Maybe true, may not be. So this is how you're a failure. Also, you're a failure because now you cannot go to your friend's house without taking an appointment. You cannot. You cannot go to a park in the evening because, like, where is park? Park is located somewhere. You are somewhere in the traffic jam. Yeah, you are in a AC car. Fine. But your car, whether it be Mercedes Benz or Ferrari or whatever it is, I don't care. That cannot move if the BMTC bus or if the city bus or any other normal vehicle is in front of you, you cannot move in the traffic jam, right? So these are very small examples. If I just list down, there will be too many examples. Because your relatives are not relatives anymore. You're a failure. Because your relatives are just like friends. What is the difference between relatives and friends? Tell me. Relatives are those who you invite. Of course, you invite friends also for good things and for bad things. So, what's the difference? In fact, you feel freer with friends than with your relatives. Where is the strength in the family when the family is so small? One child, that itself is very big. You cannot live. See, earlier they had the luxury of leaving the children to do what they want. When something goes extreme, then you slap once and then they will all set themselves right, at least in front of you. And because the other neighbors are also watching, because everybody is watching, anybody will complain on the child if the child's behavior is not good. You know that, they know that, children know that. So children are always manageable, because even a neighbor uncle can slap my child. Can I slap a neighbor's child today? No, I will be dragged to court. Now, so what happens, the whole character development and personality development of the child is only the parents responsibility, and parents are not free, not leisurely. They don't have time to pay attention. I'll tell you why. Another reason why you are a failure. You are a failure because when you are fertile, when you are in your prime of your age, you are wasting your age without procreating, without begetting children, without marrying, and giving birth to another person's body. Hmm? So when will you start doing that? When you think your success, etc., etc. So it will be 38, etc. You don't have any eggs left, not many. You have to borrow. You will go to IVF, IUF, or whatever. So many things are there. And nowadays, there is no guarantee that even in the IUF, etc., the test tube babies, the sperm and the eggs that are being fertilized there, they are yours. How do you know whether they are yours? No, you don't. You just have to trust the. Are CCTV cameras allowed? Can you track it? No, you can't. So many cases come out now that so many children are not your children. They're given like they are your children. Okay. You just see the infertility around in the society. You have to have an eye for that. You have to have interest and you just ask around. People are struggling to get one child, two child. Even if the two children are there, they struggle. Earlier, like 8 children, 9 children, 10 children, just like that. In the children, they have their own community. They have leaders. There is a hierarchy there. They know what to do, what not to do. So you think so many children, how will you don't have to look after them? They will look after themselves because the earlier seniors are their earlier children, right? So anyway, so even if four of your children become bad children or like regular people, selfish people, etc., four will be there or two will be there. At least one will be there to look after you. At least one will be there who who has attained some the kind of excellence that you wanted, right? This used to be the success, the kind of satisfaction that you get from that, it's unmatched by any of your what do you call, you know the cars, or whatever. I don't care about the brands. I was just trying to recall a brand with P, the car brand. Anyway, so all of these things are nothing in front of the satisfaction and the fulfillment that you get when you see people, the images, your own images in the form of children or disciples, whatever the case may be. So they are able to show excellence and contribute in the society. In your old age, you don't know whether you will actually, you don't even know whether you will be going to old age because you may die earlier. just out of heart attack, like you are seeing in CCTV cameras. 25-year-old, 30-year-old heart attacks, gone. Just playing cricket, gone. Lifting weights in gym, gone. Scooter, gone. So many things. Anyway, if I just keep on doing it, it may bring you a lot of bad mood or sad mood. I don't want to do all of that. But the point is, what is success that has changed? And all of this because families have lost to businesses. Businesses are perfect. Like what their goal is maximizing profits, they are maximizing profits. They are everywhere. Like, so we have to see through this. My whole point in this video is we have to see through this. We will be able to win only when the family is united versus the businesses. What businesses have been able to do is divide the family and rule the family. Divide by what? Men and women. Make them fight and they will always be divided. Families will be unsuccessful. If men and women are united, they will need one car, one bank account, one bed, one bedroom, everything one. Now, if they are not united, it doesn't matter whether you take divorce or not, because anyway, people are, de facto divorced. Most people are. So they will need two beds. So profit to business instead of one bed. They will need two cars, three cars, profit to business instead of to the family. Like that. Okay. The more division there is, the more profit to the business. The more unity there is, the family is stronger, the loss is to the business. Uber. Earlier we used to have Lyft. अभी लिफ्ट नहीं है, ठीक है, okay, we used to have some other means, etc. Now nobody even trusts you. Like for example, you are afraid that they might do something. Okay, so that is the kind of society we are living in. Lift nahi, nobody gives you lift. Hmm. So many things are there, right? All the most of the local local shops, provision shops, they're all almost dead. Everybody wants the 5-minute, 10-minute delivery. Yeah, I'm not saying that is wrong. But what is happening? The giants of businesses, they're establishing their empires. And you think you are benefiting from them. No, you are not. You are winning the very, very temporary, momentary game. They are winning the long-term, sure game. And how are they winning it? That is the point I have started this video with. How are they winning it? They are winning by attacking the second most vulnerable group person in the family. Who is the first most vulnerable? Is the child. Now we can excuse the child because the child is a child. Child doesn't know anything. We have to educate the child. The child at least knows that that child is a child. So if you say something, that child will assume that, okay, I don't know, father knows, mother knows, so I have to listen. I'm not able to connect now, but maybe in time to come, I will connect why father said whatever he said or mother said whatever she said. But the second most vulnerable person is also an adult. So you cannot argue there. You can only fight. You don't want to fight in a family. So just to avoid fight, just to keep peace, things will happen as they want. Now, what do they want? They don't know what they want, or they know only what others told that they should want, and that is the whole problem. What is the others? Who have told them? Businesses have told. No, first you say that friends, their friends, etc. All of that. Where did that all of that narrative come from? The businesses. I hope people recognize this, and someday, if at all, try to see the tricks
of the modern money masters and realize that people are going deeper, deeper, deeper every day into modern slavery, and they don't have any strength to fight you. What? I mean, who cares? Even the businesses never care. Even if you realize that you are a slave, you don't have strength enough to fight out of it. You don't. You don't have strength enough to have children in your proper age. Or you don't have strength enough to look after your child by yourself without babysitters, nannies, etc., and daycares, etc. You don't have strength enough to do. You don't have even strength enough to carry your child as long as the child wants you to carry, or run with the child and play. You don't have leisure enough. You don't have friends enough to ask your child to play with your friend's child. You don't all live together. You live together with people, whoever the chance may bring. You don't live together with your friends. You don't live together with who you want to live together. This is how you are slaves. And if you think this is acceptable slavery, well, fine. I don't. That is why I'm talking. Thank you.